Today we're talking Fords.
You talking about shallow places with good footing where a river or stream can be crossed?
That's a different kind of Ford.
You mean a narrow arm of the sea bordered by steep cliffs typically found in Scandinavian countries?
That's a fjord?
When you have enough money to pay for something?
That is a Ford. This is also a Ford, and it's also the end of this bit, thankfully. Let's talk about some Lego. Hey y'all, I'm Josh, this is Josh Build Stuff, and today we are building more Speed Champions vehicles, specifically Ford Speed Champions vehicles. These are the last of the new Speed Champions sets, which came out in June 2021. A bunch of others came out June 1st. These came out slightly later. In the end, it's inconsequential because they all came out in June 2021. This is a 2-pack of Speed Champions, which means we get 2 cars and 2 minifigures. That clarification was probably unnecessary. This set cost $50, but it contains 660 pieces, so do with that what you will. Within this 2-pack, we get a couple of newer Ford vehicles. We get the Ford Heritage GT and the Ford Bronco R, which I believe is the racing type Ford Bronco. Both of these cars are like throwbacks to classic cars. I guess you could call the Ford Bronco a classic car. They're both more or less revivals of better known classic cars. Let's talk about something first though, because there's something I like about my Speed Champions cars, and that's that I like them to be American made. That's probably not true. I don't even think Lego bricks are made in America. In fact, I'm pretty sure they aren't. No, there's something I like about my Speed Champions cars. In this 8-stud wide format, I like them to be $20 a piece, and in this $50 pack, they are not $20 a piece. Lego does some weird things in these Speed Champions sets. If we look at the recently released couple of Corvettes that we got, this was a $30 set. Granted, it was slightly fewer pieces. I don't like to talk about price per piece, but that was a $30 set. This is a $50 set. Personally, I would like just all of my Speed Champions cars to just be $20 a piece. I guess if you bought both of those sets together, then they do all average out to still being about $20 a piece. But that's math for you, I guess. Isn't math beautiful? I'm sound sarcastic, but I really do think math is beautiful. It is impartial. It is bipartisan, not bipartisan. It is non-partisan, I guess, as math. It's just numbers. It's always facts. It's always true. You can't break math. And speaking of math, I know you're going to say that this set was slightly more money because it's slightly more pieces, because this one's what, 660 pieces, but all of those pieces were used very well in the construction of this set. So let's take a look at the build for this set right now. The builds for these sets, honestly, I built them a few weeks ago, so I don't 100% remember every little bit of them, but that's not to say that the builds aren't memorable. Maybe it is to some degree. The Ford Bronco, the SUV of this set, that one was cool and introduced some new build techniques and new challenges, since that vehicle is much larger than these typical smaller Speed Champions sports cars. There was like a roll cage piece built into it. There's like a whole rack coming off of the back of this thing with several extra wheels. The roof is completely different. Everything is built in very cool ways. That was a fun little build. The Ford GT was a little more typical of other Speed Champion sets because it's a little more normally sized car. That being said, it still has some really cool techniques because the Ford GT as a car has some very cool, weird built curves and like lines and angles and stuff. And so you get a lot of very cool pieces in a beautiful blue color involved in the build for this set. Overall, both builds were a lot of fun, and the finished products are beautiful works of car art. I've said in other Speed Champions review videos, I like the Dodges that Lego gave us. I like the Chevys that Lego gave us, and now add to the list, I like the Fords that Lego gave us. If I'm not careful, someone will turn those lines into a country song. That's an inside joke. You're not expected to get it. The Ford GT is classic. Personally, I prefer it with the Gulf livery. I think this is supposed to be like the Gulf colors with like the sky blue and the bright orange. If anyone is a fan of Formula One, McLaren they rebranded, I guess repainted their cars for a couple of races ago in like the classic blue and orange Gulf colors, and that car looked beautiful. I think that's supposed to be what's going on with this Ford GT Heritage Edition. I think this is the edition that came out in like 2019. Still, that's relatively recent. I think when I think of Ford GTs, I think of the new Ford GTs, which are like really wide crazy looking sports cars. I really like them as cars. I remember like Jeremy Clarkson from Top Gear was talking about how he got a Ford GT, and he lives in Great Britain, and those roads are narrow, and this is like an American sports car, which is very wide. And I think he literally got rid of it because he's like, I can't drive it around Great Britain. The roads are literally not wide enough in this country. So shout out to America for making cars too big to drive on those revolutionary red coat soldiers streets. That may be offensive if that war was long since over, and we love our British comrades. Not comrades, allies. Our British allies. This Ford Bronco I also like for its own reasons. I think Ford is bringing back the Ford Bronco, which I guess it's a big favorite among a lot of car fans. I don't really see the appeal. I mostly just think of that innocent dude OJ driving away in a Ford Bronco back in like the 90s or something. I was a kid. I'm too young to really remember what was happening in that trial and car chase. But the Ford Bronco is back, and I think people like the new Ford Bronco. I don't know. I've heard some people are disappointed by the new Ford Bronco. I don't know. This is the R edition, which is like a rally race edition. I think this did like the Baja 1000, which is like a long desert race, and that's why it's got like extra tires hanging out on the back of it. This version of the car, I believe it's a one-off, which is why it has this very distinct paint job, so you can find like the real version of this car with this actual paint job. The association that I have with this set is from video games. I like video games. That's like my second love after Lego and my family and children and like other real life obligations. Family isn't an obligation. Luxuries, like family is a luxury, a beautiful thing. I love my family very much. I also love video games. As we said before, E3 just came about at the time of making this video, and Xbox announced a bunch of cool stuff, including Forza Horizon, which is a racing video game. That racing video game in the trailer features this exact Ford Bronco with the same livery and everything. So we will very soon be able to drive this same vehicle in a video game. It's very exciting. And like even Lego has partnered with Forza Horizon games before. I believe they had a Lego expansion pack in Forza Horizon 4, which was a lot of fun to play. I really enjoyed that. They didn't have enough of like the Speed Champions cars. They were still the 6-wide Speed Champions cars. They had like the Porsche in there. One of the Mini Coopers were in there. Maybe another car or two were in there. But I'm excited to get to drive this Baja Ford Bronco, even if it is just in a virtual setting. Let's take a closer look at both of these sets so I can point to them and say how well depicted a lot of the details are in both of these cars. So let's look at some of the lovely details depicted so well on these new Speed Champion sets. We would be remiss if we did not mention the stickers on these sets. Stickers, but these headlights, not stickers for a change. Those are printed pieces. Granted, you have to line them up pretty well as pieces to get them to look nice still. But hey, look, more stickers on the front. I actually have less to say about this Ford GT than I do about the Bronco behind it. I think Lego did a great job with this car, especially looking at it from like, I'd say like about this angle or so. I've upped my f-stop to hopefully bring the whole car into focus. The Ford GT, I think, looks really great from this angle, and I think it's essential from this angle because the front end of the Ford GT, I think, is what really defines it. Not only like these weird little divots going on there, but like just certain angles make this car scream Ford GT, which I think Lego did a nice job on. I like the exposed engine back here with the clear pieces. Like I said before, I love the color choice that Lego went with on this car. It is a classic Gulf blue color. We get those new Speed Champions wheels. Other than that, this is a pretty standard Speed Champions car, at least as far as the new line goes. That is another sticker on the inside. The interior, not a ton of detail at this scale, but I even like that. I like that it's a unique interior to this car versus some of the others. Otherwise, this car is, like I said, fine. Not a whole lot to say about it, both positively or negatively. The Ford Bronco, that is the different car in this set because it's obviously an SUV. It's bigger, there are bigger tires. There's a lot of extra details that had to go into depicting this car. Again, stickers going on, stickers on the top, stickers on the side, stickers everywhere. But some weird stuff about this car. Specifically, it's an off-road car, and so we get this like roll cage stuff going on. I'm not crazy about the way it was done here because you can see everything here is still kind of loose and free-flowing. Also, the roof is kind of loose. It's only attached with a couple of jumper pieces, but I do kind of like what LEGO was going for here because it's very different than a lot of other Speed Champions things that we've gotten. And that's that we get 2 extra tires, which is unique in itself. But if you look at the roof, there's a single round piece there that's meant to fit over that one wheel and then click into the top so that it kind of holds everything snugly in place. So I can't even pull these tires out. This one, I guess, can be pulled out, but it's held in place by the rest of this. So all that stays rather securely in place as you would expect it, but the roof kind of wants to come off a lot, and that's kind of because I don't really know how these roll cage pieces should be positioned in here to get everything to sit nicely. Even the minifigure being in the vehicle, I specifically put her in there because she bumps into one of the sides of the roll cage. So I can't move these pieces in the exact way that I'd like them to so that the roof kind of locks into place. It's a weird case. It all works fine if you really, I don't know, shimmy everything in there. But it's definitely different in terms of some Speed Champions sets that we've gotten in the past. Otherwise, though, if we really look closely at a lot of the details that are put into this set, there's a lot going on here. Like these steps, or like, I guess, I don't know, fenders or kick plates, whatever you would call these pieces. Like this is done sideways on a hinge. The front, you've got this little cage bit underneath. The cage bit's obviously holding that back tire in place. But all over this thing, there's like pieces facing in different directions, and like these little front pieces of the fender there, and like these little angled pieces up in here. Granted, they have stickers on them, but even so, like, there's a lot going on here that makes it a very well-shaped SUV. LEGO could have cheaped out on this one and made it just a very boxy vehicle, but that's not what the new Ford Bronco is shaped like. So overall, I am happy with the way that LEGO decided to depict this quote-unquote iconic vehicle. This set includes 2 minifigures, each of which are dressed appropriately in some cool Ford racing gear. My only gripe with these minifigures is that LEGO gave the wrench to the dude who is driving the Ford GT, which we shouldn't expect to break anytime soon. They should have given the wrench to the girl who's going to be driving the Ford Bronco, who is driving across the desert in like the Baja 1000 or whatever. That's why there's a bunch of extra tires and stuff, because the car is going to need repairs on the road. They should have given the wrench to the girl. Do better next time, LEGO. Do better. Overall, these cars are cool, and I like them both as vehicles and as LEGO sets. I think LEGO did an excellent job, and I would highly recommend these sets to a friend or colleague. I don't know if they will love the $50 price tag. They'll be like, hey, shouldn't Speed Champion sets be about $20 a piece? And I'll be like, that's what I'm saying. Math, right? Isn't math the greatest? And they'll be like, Pythagoras. And I'm like, I love Pythagoras. I don't actually have any friends that would say something like that, or I don't actually have any friends. That's not true. Josh from Josh Builds Stuff has lots of friends, both in real life and here on YouTube, because all of you wonderful people out there watching these videos are my friends. And as my friends, let me know what you think about these new Speed Champions vehicles in the comments down below. And if you thought you were tired of Speed Champions sets up to this point, because we reviewed so many of them, I've got bad news for you, because there will be at least one more Speed Champions video with this latest round of cars, because I want to take a look at a bunch of the new 8-stud wide cars and give my opinions on the Speed Champions line as a whole, which I've held off on doing some of that in the context of these videos because I'm trying to keep these videos concentrated on the individual sets that we're talking about instead of just spreading out into the broader world of Speed Champions sets. That's a motorcycle outside. I don't know if you can hear it. LEGO doesn't make Speed Champions scale motorcycles, but maybe they should. No, that would be hard for them to do. They would just be small motorcycle sets. We're getting distracted here as we are wont to do. Let me know what you think about these new Speed Champion sets in the comments down below. Let me know what you thought about this video. As always, thank you so much for watching, friends. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to like, subscribe, and tell your friends so that your friends can become my friends, can become our friends, and we're all one big happy family. That sounds like it is from a thing. Again, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.
38th President of the United States?
That was Gerald Ford. Also, I heard that dude wasn't actually a great dude or president. Terrible economy during his time as president. Also, I think he pardoned Nixon for the Watergate thing. Like, come on, man. Like, do a little better than that, old Gerald Ford. Do you go by Jerry? Well, I'm asking you. You are no longer here, Gerald Ford.